Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Here we're going to be working with cleaning and handling missing data. So working with data at times, like real data, can be messy. So you always want to deal with missing values and occasionally there are some duplicates and stray characters, some white space. So cleaning the model before any analysis is very important, and Pandas gives us some tools to deal with this. A great one is drop NA. So here we have a table with NA values, and it will drop, if we say drop NA, we'll drop these columns, these rows, which contain NANs. We do df dot drop NA. Yeah, we will get these rows deleted. You can also specify for columns in subset. Only you can just subset for, let's say we want column 2. So just drop this column right here that has an NAN if they have NANs. Afterwards, it's good to see the shape of your data, so the before and after. Once you've done this shape, instead of having to drop these rows, let's say we want to fill in these values. But how can we do so? Well, Pandas, we can do the dot fill NA function. It replaces any missing values or NANs for defaults with a numeric value. So let's say, for example, we could do this column 2, df, calling it column 2, dot fill NA 0. We do in place true. So if it finds any NANs, we'll replace it with a 0 as its value. Now, there is some problems with that. Let's say we have a distribution for column 2. These are all the values going from, or this is categorical, but let's say they were numerical, going from like 0 to 100 range, and some of these were missing. Let's say some of these are missing, they're not here, and we fill them in with zeros. Okay, then we're transforming our data a certain way. So we're not getting that uniform distribution, we're getting a right-tailed distribution. So there is some problems with just filling in with zeros. I want to know from this data frame, can I know which rows in a specific column are NANs? Yeah, we could do that with the is NA. So there are NA values. Okay, so how would I do this in code? Do df, call that for column 2, dot is NA, and then we will pass it into df. Well, we want the df column 2 dot is NA. We show the row, so we get actually this row, which contains this NA in this column. So not this column, but this column right here. There are cases when our values at times may have some trailing spaces. Now, what is this? Let's say we compare the word vitamin with no spaces versus vitamin. There might be like a space right here. I don't know, someone spelled it incorrectly. Well, we want these values to be the same. Okay. Well, we can do that dot str. Oh, I spelled that incorrectly. Str for string dot strip. Str dot strip. There we go. And we want for specific, let's say column 2. So df c2 dot strip string dot strip. Now we need to understand what are the edge cases here when using these, right? Because we can say, okay, we can just drop NaN, so we don't need that. Well, we don't need that. Well, when dropping, you're losing data, which is not good because that data can be valuable data. Okay, let's say this is NaN, but all these other values, all these other columns are valuable. And just doing a fill Na with a 0, like I told you, you might lean the distribution one way or the other. We can do other ways like fill Na with np.mean, which is the mean value of this whole, of the whole row maybe, of the whole column. So there's other ways to go about filling NaNs. Let's look into the code. We're still using the old vitamin supplemented dataset, so we go ahead df.head, showcase that we're still using the same one. Now let's start with the drop Na. Now, like I said, drop Na will drop any rows that have NaNs, and I don't believe I have NaNs. We do df.info. See, we have non-nulls 438. If there were null values, these would be less than 4384. But we can go ahead and showcase the code here. It would be df, let's say it's cleaned, be any df.drop na. Okay, drop na, you can see you can list here the index or column. And df cleaned should still, yeah, there should be nothing changed here because it should still be cleaned. Now let's say we had a zeros, or yeah, let's say we had missing data that we want to fill in with like a 0. In this case, it's just for example case only. We'd go ahead and use the dot fill na, replace NaNs with value strategy values. It's like 0. We go ahead and do df cleaned. That's our data set we're working with. I'm going to call in, let's say, the discount column. We do fill na with a 0. Okay, this is going to get passed in. This will get passed in into our df cleaned discount column. So we're adjusting this discount column, and then we're passing in into the discount column. Let's go ahead and check this out. Okay, well, there's no zeros. And the next one we're going to work on is the duplicated one. See if there's any duplicated rows. I don't believe so. We can just hit df duplicated. Okay, so there's no duplicated rows here. That's good news. So I guess the next one we can work on. What's the next one? Is NA. Do we have any NAs in here? We do df cleaned dot is NA, and then we want the sum of that count. Nope, no NAs in any of the columns. That's good, and we get the count this way. And same thing for duplicated. Okay, now the next one we want to look at is the strip. Yeah, the strip for any messy strings or extra spaces. So our df cleaned.info, any of these objects like product name, category, we can check if there's any white space. So we go ahead df and we can clean that up. Df cleaned. Let's work with platform. Let's say, for example, the platform was Walmart, but it was spelled like space Walmart instead of correctly Walmart like this. So df platform, doing df cleaned platform dot str dot strip. I believe this is the right way to do it, yes. Yep, well, these are just these values. Okay, if there were any other misspellings, it would be different variations of these value counts. And well, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. See you again soon.